Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
James Kennedy said it the very, very best. God loves America. When you consider what he went through to bring our forefathers to this magnificent land, and when you realize what he accomplished in bringing forth a new nation on this continent, a government founded on Christian principles and dedicated to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you have to realize that he had a dramatic vision and purpose for this nation. Amen. Good morning. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Morning, morning. Oh, good morning, good morning. I'm Zeb Bell at Zeb at the Ranch, and of course our major sponsors are your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and of course some of our great advertisers too, like Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more at 459 Overland in Burley, and our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And right now, she just been offered a multi-million-dollar contract to be the head computer expert at IBM. Here's Gina.
See you later. I got a new job, and good luck.
I hear cackling in the background.
That was Scotty.
Nice. It was a rude cackling.
It was a rude cackle, like ha ha ha, Gina.
You cut out on me.
Yeah, I know. My microphone's kind of going cattywampus. Oh. I'm going to quit touching it.
Okay, well, don't let it go wampus catty or whatever you said.
Cattywampus, yes.
Oh, okay. And do we have a pledger?
We have sweet little Miss Abigail on for...
Oh, that lovely girl. You know, she was over at Ramsey's last week, and I didn't get a chance with all the people there to get her on the air and talk to us. But, Abby, good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am great. I just absolutely love talking to you, and I'm so sorry last week I didn't have time. And would you give us the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, my sweetie, and have a great day, okay?
You too.
All right, thank you. Oh, she is just really something. Thanks, Abby. Hey, don't forget it's time for the weather right now, and the weather's brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Don't forget they've got do-it-yourself workshops, and they've got all their repurposed furniture, and they've got new decor items coming in every single day. And don't forget 2 great ideas for redecorating your house for the holidays. I had a lady call yesterday and say, holidays? Yeah, it's right around the corner, really. You better hurry up and check it out at Cheney Flooring and Home Design in Burley, 678-6945. Here now is the weather.
Well, it looks like we may have some rain showers today, about a 40% chance. Going to be a little bit breezy, not too bad. Otherwise, high of 82. Tonight, low near 54. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 80, with an overnight low near 49. And for Saturday, looks like sunny skies and 84. Currently sitting at 64 degrees here at the KBAR studio.
And Saturday, real quick insert, we will be over at the Rupert City Park for the POW MIA Recognition Day, and the lovely Gina will be broadcasting live and direct.
You got it.
Thank you, and brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. sign, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Really, really nice, folks. 678-6945. Look for their blue door. Hey, let's sell some livestock right now, shall we?
Well, hold on just a second. We've changed a lot of things here.
Oh, okay.
We might just have to forego Merv May until I can find it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just say bid them up, boys, and let them in. Lot number 29, and start them off. Good run of steer calves here today. Yes, sir. Burley Livestock Commission Company. And Burley Livestock Sale Yard at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411 with Merv May. And, of course, Lance Udy and Cade Rogie. And if you have any questions, call the office at 678-9411. And today they've got a good run of cattle coming in there, good run of feeder cattle, and the sale time is at 10:30. They've got Kirk Dahl out of Ruby Valley, Nevada. Hello, Kirk, how you doing? 100 head of calves weighing 500 to 600 pounds. Pat Rogers over to Declo bringing in 10 head of calves. Tracy May, my goodness, hello, Tracy over in Rupert, 10 head of mixed cattle. Lynn Hunter of Rockland bringing down 25 head of Hereford steer calves. You know, you hardly see any Herefords anymore. Good to see these cattle coming to the sale. Ward Dairy of Burley bringing 120 head of Holstein steers weighing about 600 pounds. Moo Mountain Dairy, East Ridge Dairy, South Ridge Dairy, and TLK Dairy are bringing in a whole bunch of butcher cows. And remember, sale time is at 10:30. For more information, don't you hesitate. Just call the Burley Livestock Sale Yard at 678-9411. Sale time today at 10:30. And I'm assuming that Merv...
I can find it.
You can play it in?
Nope. It won't let me. Oh, here we go.
All right, good set of steer calves.
There's the world champion auctioneer right there, the best, Merv May. Thanks, Gina. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, just bear with me as we're trying to learn this new system.
No, don't worry about it. I know you're trying to do the best you can, and that's all that can be asked for.
Well,
thank you very much. Ramsey Heating and Electric. Let's remind everybody they're at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call 678-0459. And they're open 7:30 in the morning to 5:30 Monday through Friday, and it's still hats off to farmers. Hats off to farmers and a salute for all you do. They really appreciate agriculture, and they appreciate farmers. And run in, get what you need, all your cord ends, rubber cord, fuses, whatever. They'll have it waiting on the counter for you. All you have to do is just call ahead, 678-0459. Remember, Ramsey Heating and Electric on Overland with warm winters and cool summers. I almost forgot that tagline. I am not kidding you. All of a sudden, my mind went, bah. I could not remember a thing. I'm sorry. And by the way, too, let's not forget our friends over to Valley Wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. They've got the winter gloves have come in. Keep your handsies warm. And they've got all the shop towels and the rags, and they've got, Ariat boots for men and women. They've got boots galore over there. And all the window wiper cleaner blades. They've got everything for harvest, so get on over there. Valley-wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida and Rupert. Really good folks serving you, Mandy, and the rest of the crew. They're waiting for you at Valley-wide Home and Ranch. Gina, we know somebody that is having a birthday today back in Indianapolis. Could we try to call him real quick?
You want to try and call him right now?
Yeah, let's try it right now, live and direct on the air. And sometimes it's like committing suicide when you dial on the air long distance, but we'll see what happens. There's the dial tone.
There's the dial tone.
Okay. Now we're going to dial the number. And we'll see if he'll pick up on his private number in his office. He's celebrating a birthday today. It's ringing once. Ringing twice.
Yes, Dave.
Is this Dave Bigo?
Last I knew, yeah.
Okay, well, check your T-shirt. I understand that you are having a birthday today, and you have joined the ranks of being antique and being up on the shelf so that you have to be dusted.
Say that again.
I said, I understand you have joined the ranks of being an antique and you have to be put up on the shelf and be dusted, and both my engineer, Gina, and myself, Zeb Bell, would like to wish you a very happy birthday. I know you're hard of hearing because of your age, but have a great day.
Well, thank you. I'm not hard of hearing, but your connection is kind of light today.
Oh, really? Well, I apologize for the light connection, but when you get to be your age, that squeak in the rocking chair probably is diminishing my sound.
Yeah, but I still have great hearing, and I'm not in the rocking chair yet.
All right, well, listen, Dave, on behalf of Gina, say happy birthday to Dave, would you please?
Dave, we are wishing you the very best birthday that you could ever have.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. It means a lot coming from you. Especially this early. What time is it your time?
Oh, it's 8:17, and I know a man of your age, you haven't had your oatmeal yet, so please sit down, have a good day, and God bless. Have a good one.
All right, thanks a lot. You guys have a great day out there.
Thanks, okay? Dave. Take care.
Take care.
Dave Bigo back in Indianapolis, Indiana. He's a nice guy. He really is.
And it's always fun to surprise people like that.
You're not kidding. Calls are welcome, 436. What did he mean when we're coming in kind of light? Is the computer maybe changing things a little bit?
No, we still have you coming in through the same way, so I just kind of bumped up his volume on his end.
Oh, okay. All right.
He needs to wear his hearing aids.
Hey, I got a question for you. And like I said, things are going to be a little lighter this morning.
Yes.
But I heard something the other day that piqued my interest. I love that word, piqued my interest.
Okay.
And you've heard the song Delta Dawn.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yee, who runs the programming for all the stations over there, who do you think was the first to come out and make that a big hit?
Elvis Presley. I have no idea.
No. It was a female. I'll give you a hint there.
Dolly Parton?
No. I was
Wine.
No.
Okay,
No.
I'm at a loss.
All right, I'm gonna tell you something, and I did not know this. I was listening to a radio commentary the other day about country music. I was out of the area, and they were talking about the song Delta Dawn. And I had thought all my life, and I know this lady very well, I thought Tanya Tucker was the first one to record Delta Dawn.
But she wasn't.
No, and you will never guess who the first lady was that was going to record it, and she was all of a sudden beat out by another very famous singer. It was Bette Midler that was going to record it first.
Oh, I'm glad she didn't.
Yeah, but you know what was on the flip side of the song that she was going to record on Delta Dawn? The Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, and that became one of her biggest hits.
You are correct on that.
Yeah. Wow. And then Helen Reddy from Canada came out first with a copy of Delta Dawn, and then Tanya Tucker came out with her copy, and I did not know that.
That's a lot of versions of one song.
Yeah. But
honestly, I didn't know any of this either. I
was absolutely amazed when I picked up the story and read it about Delta Dawn and how it came into being. Because, see, I thought that Tanya Tucker had done that when she was still a teenager and she was just breaking into the music business. I thought that was her first big hit, which it was to some extent, but it was recorded by two others before her.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd throw that at you this morning.
Well, thank you for schooling me today, then.
Well, I got the education, too. I did. And I thought it was pretty interesting. Big song. And I saw Tanya Tucker the other night on TV perform that song, and it's kind of become her trademark, even though it really wasn't her first song. It was somebody else's first.
Doesn't usually it works that way, where a new artist is coming along and they will redo an already established hit to kind of put them on the map?
Many times.
Yeah.
Many times. Yep, that's right. Don't forget Denny's Restaurant. We're going to be over there today for Lunch Bunch. Today is the day for Lunch Bunch. I want to stress that. And we're going to have a lot of door prizes to give away, too. And we want to say thanks to Smith's Food King, Walmart, and Hanson Mortuary. Thank you so much for all that you do to be a part of our Zeb's Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Wow, the people get there early in the morning before 11:30 and they start ordering all the food, and the service is fantastic. The menu is delicious. I just don't even have a clue as to what I'm going to have to eat today. It's all good. You better believe it. So come on down to Denny's Restaurant and join us. We're going to have Zeb's Lunch Bunch today at 11:30. You can stop in any day at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Also, I want to remind you that later on this morning, we're probably going to be talking to Eli with Berry Equipment and Rental. And if you're looking for equipment to rent and or own, they've got 3 locations covering the valley. I'm telling you, they've got a location at Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and a location over at South Lincoln and Jerome, and a beautiful location at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Man, they've got equipment all over the place. They got all the Coyote tractors, and they got all the mowers, and they've got all the man lifts, and they've got all the Doosan loaders. Wow. I don't know how they keep track of all their inventory. They got a great shop, great mechanics. I'm telling you, it's Berry Equipment and Rental. Addison Avenue West, Twin Falls, South Lincoln and Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Really, really good folks. All right, give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Oh, guess who is in a little bit of hot water this morning? Guess who may be replaced as kind of a Democratic spokesperson?
Eric Holder?
No! The mouthpiece. And she said some things that got her into some hot water because she said some negative things that didn't have to be said. They were not politically correct whatsoever. Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
And what did she do? What did she say?
Remember, she came out a week ago, and we covered this story. Initially, we were the first one, I think, almost in the country to come out with that story about her condemning and literally damning Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, and saying that he is a backhanded woman and that he's been tearing him around by the hair, just with a political twist to it. And she shouldn't have said things like this, because they were almost slanderous and libelous in print and everything else. And many people on the Democratic Party are looking at Debbie going, I don't know if we can afford to keep her. She's trouble. She is trouble.
Sounds like she could be a liability, and you have a phone call.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate that. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah. Well, good morning, bud. Hey, I was thinking today they're talking about segregation. Some of my friends and I on Facebook, desegregation, pardon me, back in taking kids and letting them go to school, But anyway, so I got thinking about it, and it seems like for all that work that went on back then of desegregating schools and what have you, that the president nowadays and some of his friends, it seems like they're trying to resegregate everything.
I agree with that.
It's pretty sad and heartbreaking to see that Americans who worked so hard and diligently to work together as one and become one, to be a powerful nation that stood out above the rest of the world, not alongside, but out and above for a good reason, we're now below and behind. And it's really, really heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking, and I'll tell you this. I agree with your analogy, and I've said this on the air. Obama ran initially under the guise and premise that he was going to be the great unifier. And I'll come right out and say, and if somebody's offended by this, I really don't care. Barack Hussein Obama has been the great divider. In my opinion, with his administration and people like Eric Holder and many others in his administration, there has been a divide. There's been more race cards being played. There has been more of a problem created between the races in this country because of what's been said and done, and not a unifier at all, but a great divider, and I think that will be his legacy.
And say what people may about George W. Bush, any of them, They didn't once try to knock down the country to be a flea on the world stage. They fought hard to keep us upright. We might have lost some money and gone into debt, but you know what? We were respected. Now we're laughed at. You know how humiliating that is?
I agree with you, and I think you've said it very succinctly. Thank you for your call this morning. That means a lot. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
He's right. This caller is right. We are being laughed at. We are a laughing stock to others that don't like us. And quite frankly, there are those that are our allies that are kind of raising their eyebrows and going, what in the world are we doing over here in the United States? I got to do this real quick before we do the break, but I sat and watched John Kerry yesterday, Secretary of State, as he testified. And I listened to the verbiage, and I took notes and compared them with the notes that I took when Obama was speaking last week in his so-called He-Man speech as to what he was going to do and what this administration was going to do to protect us from ISIS. Have you noticed, now really I want you to do the homework on this, have you noticed that everything the administration said they were going to do in Obama's speech, now they are backing up, changing, transitioning, and possibly avoiding that verbiage? They're backing up on everything. And I really wonder, and I want somebody that's been in the military to call me. I'm listening to what was said yesterday with John Kerry. I listened and wrote notes on what the generals had said the other day, and then I go back and I saw some of the video clips of Obama over the last couple of weeks, and the transitioning, the changing, and the disavowing, and lying about what was said or what was not said. And I'm just really worried that this president is going to only give lip service to a problem, ISIS, that is trying to kill us. It's very, very frightening right now. Let us go quickly and have the Capital Press Ag Minute, and I'll be right back and take some of your calls. Here we go.
The Capital Press Ag Minute is brought to you by OnlyAg.com.
Representatives of an environmental group behind a pending lawsuit against Idaho Wildlife Services say their effort is an attempt to end the agency's programs. IWS is a USDA agency that solves conflicts between wildlife and humans and livestock. Producers say the group has been crucial in helping them control predating wolves. The lawsuit targets the impact the agency's management efforts have on endangered species, but if successful, it would also impact IWS's lethal control actions against problem wolves. The lawsuit is the first step in challenging the legal basis the agency uses to kill wildlife, representatives of those groups say.
To receive instant, exclusive, unlimited access to the West Agricultural News Source, register your account today at CapitalPress.com.
No, thank you very much, CapitalPress.com. These are really nice people. It's a great ag newspaper. I get it every week and really enjoy it. Don't forget our friends at Snyder's Surplus. Oh, they're busy. They're busy every day. You better believe it. It's not just army and hunting supplies. Good heavens, no! They've got office chairs. They've got desks. They've got bunk beds. They've got guns and ammunition and gun cases, and they've got all your tools. Why, I'm running out of air trying to tell you about everything they have. Yes, sirree, brand new merchandise, brand new store at 112 South 200 west of Rupert, but really the same great friendly service. They really are nice people at Snyder's Surplus. Once again, 112 South 200 west of Rupert. You stop in and see them today. All right, give me some calls. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You want to hear how sick and perverted ISIS is? I mean, I can't imagine this happening 25, 30 years ago or more. ISIS, a terror-killing machine. Their only goal and objective is to kill, maim, bomb, and destroy. They have a website, and I'm not making this stuff up, they have a website comparable to any sports team like the NFL, NBA, or Major League Baseball. And they are on that website selling baseball caps, T-shirts, keychains, sweatshirts, hoodies that promote ISIS. And the money garnered all goes into the killing of people. I mean, I sat and listened with tears in my eyes yesterday when I listened to the fact that they are soliciting here in the United States teenagers to become involved with ISIS and go and learn how to be human bombs and go and learn how to kill people. I guess it's my age, okay? I can't handle this. I can't handle living in a society that is that calloused. And the young people that live here in this country, the greatest country in the world, that affords them the most opportunities, even today with all the problems going on. And these nincompoops are trying to take our children and solicit them to die for their cause. What is the matter with us? What really is the matter with us and the world today? Have we become that calloused? The guy in New York soliciting people to go overseas and go to ISIS training camps, soliciting Americans, pay their money for the plane trip, get their passports all lined up so they can go overseas and then come back and try to develop cells here and kill us. If it doesn't bother you, it's scaring me to death. I just don't understand where we're headed. And I think it all goes back to a lack of leadership. A complete lack of leadership. If Obama had the football on the 1-inch line and first down, the way he's going, he would fumble it. This is absolutely critical right now that we devote the resources, that we develop the allies, that we develop the strategies that are perpetrated by generals that know what's going on, not a community organizer playing the part of a president, and we go beat these people into submission. Your calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm really concerned. And then I hear stories about a superintendent of schools in Woodruff, South Carolina, that we talked about yesterday, that absolutely must have put his brain on hold on 911. And he had some students, and I saw this video, maybe you did too, had some students that were so proud of their country on 911, which was a week ago Thursday, put some, they looked like they were about 4x6 American flags on poles in the back of their pickups, and also some were attached to cars, and go to school. They were proud to be Americans. They were proud of what America stands for. And this superintendent went ballistic and went out and confiscated the flags and chewed the kids out and everything else. Whoa! One mother got really teed off. God bless her. And she organized a protest right out in front of the school. And everybody had flags, and everybody was standing there waving the flags. And I mean, she stuck her nose in that superintendent's face, and she said, "Partner, you better apologize." And he did that. He not only apologized for himself and the school board for being so stupid, he guaranteed it would never, ever happen again, and there would be more patriotism shown at that school. That's the good thing. But it took one mad mama to get the ball rolling. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. We need a lot more hot mamas and mad mamas.
Did you happen to see that?
Yep. I've seen a lot of that crap, and I'm getting sick and tired of it.
I'm fed up with what's going on in this country, Al. I don't know what else to do. I tell you these stories on the air every morning so that people will get up and be outraged, because here's the thing, and I know you're going to agree with this. We look at Woodruff, South Carolina. We look at whether it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or we look at whether it's Casper, Wyoming, or whether it's Bakersfield, California, and we think it can never happen here, and yes, it can.
I know it, and it's just getting worse and worse. And then last night, I was sitting here watching it, and they come up with this stuff about the Air Force Academy. Somebody complained about saying under God,
Yeah.
on the oath.
Yeah.
Well, the person that didn't want that, I'd say, mister, you get the hell out of this unit, because you're the kind of person that I would not trust watching my back on the flight line.
You know, Al, I want to talk to you just a little bit about this ISIS problem. Why is it I hope you're not offended or embarrassed if I say this, because you've mentioned it on the program yourself. You're going to be 81 years old, okay? You have been there and done that. What has happened to America that we've lost not only respect in our country, but we've kind of lost respect in ourselves?
We become gutless, and you got a bunch of people right now in the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives don't have enough guts to stand up and say that's enough. We're going to go back to the Constitution. Now, there's things in the military code of justice that if a leader is incapable of doing his duties and stuff like that, he can be removed from that office if they would use it.
I couldn't agree more. And I look at the situation with Obama. I look at the situation with his administration. I look at the situation yesterday with John Kerry sitting there and testifying to the senators that were asking questions, whether it was Corker, whether it was Cruz, anybody. And I sat and I listened, and in the background, you probably saw Code Pink holding up those pink signs about, we don't need any military involvement. Let's not use our military. Let's disband our military and everything. And I thought, you know something? Now, more than ever before, we need to show military power to the point where people start to respect us and shut up and sit down.
That's right. The aircraft, they are good to a certain point. They can keep you under cover. But you're got to have somebody on the ground after the aircraft goes through to dig them out of them caves and their hiding places, and you can't do it on the air alone. You've got to have ground troops somewhere going in there and wiping it up, they call it.
Yeah, but Al, already in less than a week, we have seen a revamping, a changing, a complete distortion of what Obama's speech was and what he said, and they're already starting to change it.
That's what I said. It's nothing but a bunch of gutless, worthless people over there that don't know the first diddly squat about what the hell's going on.
I agree. Al, thank you so much for your call.
I'll see you at lunch month.
Yes, sir.
Be careful with the door.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Hey, don't forget wedding cakes, cookie bars, homemade bread, delicious cinnamon rolls at the bakery of Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street on the Square in Rupert. Oh my goodness. Those cinnamon rolls the size of a football, they're great. You're going to love them. And don't forget, too, they have breakfast, lunch, or supper Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, Sundays, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sophie's Chatterbox on the Square in Rupert. You stop over and see her today. What about you? Are you worried? Are you concerned? This next story is a developing story. Okay, it's a developing story. And I want to get into it. It's about our Border Patrol, but first let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
I think I might have been hearing things that, am I wrong?
Hey, Chris, hold on a second. Gina, we're getting feedback from something else in the background. Another voice is coming in. It sounds like something from a newscast. If you could check that out. Okay, Chris, go ahead. I am in my headsets. I'm getting a male voice that's coming across. And if I'm hearing it, others are hearing it too. So go ahead, Chris, please.
Anyway, I thought that I heard that some of the senators or representatives are wanting to take out of our Pledge of Allegiance, "In God We Trust."
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there was a testing 1, 2, 3 in the background there, Gina. Okay.
I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, well, it's coming across. That's what I'm telling you.
Just because you hear it doesn't mean that everybody else hears it.
It's driving me nuts. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm trying my best.
Okay.
Okay, did you hear me?
Yes, I have heard that they want to take away In God We Trust, and they want to take away anything in reference to God. This is not a new push. This has happened before, Chris. I'm very concerned about something that John Kerry said yesterday that minimizes the value of God to you and me. Did you notice that when he was talking about Islam, he didn't refer to what they say as Allah, he referred to it as God, and that highly offended me because God is not the same as Allah.
Well, I'll tell you what, once they cross the Mississippi River, go in that direction, it seems to me like Americans lose their minds. And I tell you, it is really sad. And I am watching what's happening in Scotland, and I'm almost cheering them on.
Why? Why would you be cheering Scotland on? Because it's going to cause us, the United States, a lot of problems at this time, and we can't afford those problems.
Well, one thing about it, at least they are wanting to have their own identity. And I don't know, they probably are not going to get it done. But sometimes I think the West ought to secede from the East because we're just being dragged through the mud.
Well, yeah, but Chris, think about the ramifications about if Scotland decides to tear away and become a separate entity away from the United Kingdom. Have you thought about the currency?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things that it'll disrupt. But maybe England is way too controlling, too much of a boss. Maybe Scotland has felt like they were just illegitimate adopted child.
Well, the only thing is, when you think about breaking away from something, I know that we broke away from England 250 years ago, and I know you're going to throw that at me. However, look at it today with the status of the world as it is. Look at the status of having to change your own currency and develop your own currency in a world right now where the money markets and the stock markets are very, very shaky. Look at it to the point where they would basically tell the United States, get your nuclear submarines and everything else out of Scotland and go find another place. We don't have another place right now lined up. Look at what it would do for their own personal security, being a sole entity. There's a lot more negatives, I think, than there are positives.
Well, one of the things that it may be showing all of us, that if we are people called the Americans and we're members of the United States of America, maybe we ought to be acting like one rather than like we're the stepchild that nobody ever wanted to admit. Because out here in our part of the country, it's just like we don't exist. Well, unless we have oil or gas or gold.
Yeah, well, your point is well taken. And yeah. You and I are on the same page there that the western part of the United States does not get the respect because of the rural attitude. The Easterners look down at us like they're some kind of elitist, etc. And there's also, I think, and I'm going to throw this at you, I think there is a contempt for you and me and others that live with the freedoms of being able to travel and enjoy the great outdoors, and I think the Eastern people are very jealous of that.
It's kind of interesting, though, that they have control over 99% of their own states, and here we have to share it with them.
Yeah.
They control us and dictate to us, and yet they have a lot more freedom to, call the shots.
They want to take our water. They want to tell us what to do with our land. They want to tell us what to do and how to live. They want to have complete control. And I, for one, think it's time to slam the fist down on the table and say, no, enough is enough. But there again, it goes back to politics and politicians, as you well know. Because I said yesterday that we got to have politicians band together in unified voices and storm the White House and tell Obama and others, that's enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that we could start in Idaho.
All right.
See who will lead the charge. Okay.
God bless you, Chris. Thank you very much. Nice lady right there. I got to have a weather forecast, and the weather is brought to you. You know, this is a neat store. I like this place very much. Mad River Laser. Nicole is absolutely, and her staff, they're absolutely first class on all their promotional items they can make for your business. I'm telling you, I've seen what she can do. She made the steak knives for me, the Zeb at the Ranch steak knives, and they were first class. She does everything, caps, pins, knives, buck knives, and by the way, if you get a buck knife over there, you can have it personally engraved, and I'm telling you, just tell them Zeb sent you. Man, it's neat. It really is a neat place. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, tote bags, everything, even custom-made aprons, and if you mention that you heard me say it, they'll sell them to you for just $10. Holy cow. Mad River Laser, 502 E Street in Rupert. You stop over, please see them today. Here now is the lovely Gina Jameson with the weather.
Well, it looks like partly to mostly cloudy skies today. We do have a 40% chance of rain showers, high of 82. Tonight, low of 54. Tomorrow, much better, partly cloudy, high of 79 with an overnight low near 48. And for Saturday, if you're going to join us at the Rupert Square, it looks like sunny skies and 84, currently sitting at 64 degrees here at the KBAR studios.
By the way, speaking of Saturday, I want to remind everybody, please, Patriots are going to be there. Patriots are going to be there at the POWMIA 7th Annual Recognition Day Ceremony. And Gina's going to be over there early in the morning, broadcasting from 9 to noon on K-Bar. And they'll have live music starting at 10 o'clock. And then at 2... we're going to start the ceremony. I'll be the MC again this year, and we're going to have a lot of nice people being a part of the ceremony. And please come over and pay tribute to our POWMIAs, and don't let them be forgotten. Thank you. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This is a story that I'm doing more research on it. I'm going to be calling some of the think tanks back in New York City and also Washington, D.C. I heard just developing notes on this story this morning, but there have been claims. Now, again, these are alleged claims, and I'm not giving this as a bona fide fact, even though ABC News has carried a little bit of this story, and so has Fox, and so have some others. But it is a developing story. It has been put out that some illegal aliens that have a vendetta against being deported are coming back and saying that they were harassed by Border Patrol officers and were given more static than what they deemed was fair. Then it came out that some members of this administration had put the notice out that if those people would come forth, we as taxpayers, and I'm not making this thing up, we as taxpayers would pay their way to come back to this country. They are illegals. They are illegal aliens. And we as Americans are going to pay for illegal aliens to come back to this country because they say they were harassed by the Border Patrol? What is going to stop anybody and everybody standing in line 1,000 miles long saying, oh, well, we were all harassed by the Border Patrol, let us in, pay our plane ticket? What? This is nuts. And then they want to start sticking cameras to what they say blunt the criticism about agents' use of force, and they want to have everything on film. I tell you that if our Border Patrol has to start filming everything, there may be a cause of hesitation when lives are threatened because of the camera. And I think it's going to be unduly putting a stress situation on our Border Patrol agents, and I say this is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That we, the United States of America, have to make our people, our Border Patrol agents, subject to Don't touch. Don't do this. Don't harass them. It's all on film. Oh, don't do this. Let them go. And we could have a case like what happened about a year and a half ago with a teen that was pelting the Border Patrol agents with rocks and almost killed one. And the Border Patrol agents, due to the fact that this teen was using lethal force, they shot and killed him. If everything is on film, and film can be altered and edited, it puts our people trying to protect us and protect our laws at a very unfair disadvantage. And I still think that because everybody's going to be trained, it's on camera, that slight hesitation could be life-threatening. I am sick and tired of us in this country always being the bad guys. What are your thoughts about this? This is an unfolding story right now, and we're going to find out more about it and talk to some people over the weekend. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd like to hear your thoughts. And I've got another story that nobody else is mentioning, but I will in just a minute. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And all 7 locations serving you with the best tire sale going on right now. They've got the Terramax HT. They've got the Wildcat AT2. They've got the Open Country AT. They've got the Ultra Z900. Oh, my, the list goes on and on. All the different tires, all the different tread designs, all the different driving usages. I'm telling you what, they've got them. Plus, they've got a lot of great custom wheels on sale. They've always had the best brake value promise, the best in front-end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries. Yep, you better stop in and see them today. And that's, of course, Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All right, it's your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You probably, because most on ESPN and most all the news network correspondents probably won't say this or probably won't allude to this story. But I'm just going to throw this at you. And Gina, are you right there by your microphone again? I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
You've been following the domestic violence cases with the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. Almost every arrest, and again, there were 2 more yesterday that lead us into today, one from the Titans and another one, I think it was with the Cincinnati Bengals. Every single one, and again, I'm asking you to correct me if I'm wrong on this with the computer and anything that's shown up on your desk, every one of these have been caused by black NFL players.
You're correct.
I am. And my point is not to be racial, but what is the problem with the black players that they have to resort to that kind of domestic violence? What's the matter with the Ray Rices? What is the matter with Adrian Petersons? What's the matter with the other spousal abuse players causing these problems? What's going on in the black community that they are the ones that are perpetrating this crime? My question is to you. You give me an answer, Gina. I'd like to hear that.
Honestly, I would not have an answer. It could be just a cultural difference. It could be the way that they were raised. It could be maybe the steroids that they're taking. Who knows? Honestly, I can't give a factual answer to that.
Why isn't this being reported, though, and why is it being covered up? You know, there's such a cover-up.
I can tell you why it's not being reported, because the major networks don't want to seem racist by pointing out that, here's this guy, and he's this race. And
I agree with that.
And they don't want to do that.
I agree with that. But you know, as a news reporter, when you were with KMBZ, WMVT. You know this is factual, that there was a time, and it's getting worse in this country, to where if there's a bank robbery or something, they'll say 3 individuals robbed a bank and got away in a gray sedan, because the news media is so hesitant to list it as Caucasian or Hispanic or black. You know that's the truth.
It is the truth, and however, when you're trying to give a description of a person, you have to give the color of their skin.
That's right.
And when you're doing that, it's not racist, it's based on fact.
Then why can't we have the fairness in our society to say that there may be a problem with the races not having the respect for their wives, their ladies, etc., and why can't we mention that almost everyone, and I dare somebody to prove me wrong on this, with the domestic violence issue, has been of black heritage? And I believe we have a call coming in. Let's check and see with Gina if we've got time. I've got about 2 minutes left in this segment. Gina, is that call for me?
Yes.
All right, we'll take it real quick. Caller, real fast. I've only got about a minute and a half. Go ahead.
Okay, it all goes back. It's just like this Winston deal right now with Florida State.
Yep.
Pampered. He's been up on rape. He's stealing stuff. He's derogatory remarks to women. Yet Florida State's keeping him on the books. Well, I'll tell you what I do, Mr. Winston. Your butt would be sitting on the bench outside the stadium. You would lose your Heisman Trophy award, and you will be brought up on charges.
I agree.
Oh, no, they got to protect him.
No, I totally agree with you. Jameis Winston, the quarterback for Florida State University, has had more trouble. He has had many checkered past occurrences to where he's said and done things as a pampered athlete, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Al, I wish I had more time. I don't. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah, Jameis Winston is another classic example. He stood outside of a women's dormitory the other day and just absolutely was shouting obscenities and other things at these women. He thinks he is a pampered athlete that can get away with everything. He's walked into restaurants and stolen food. He has caused all kinds of problems. He was accused of rape and the college got him off. And there is a problem there in sports with portions of that race. I'm going to come right out and say it. We'll take a little break, and then we will come back in about 6 minutes. Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday. Don't go away. Holy smokes, I've got a question in just a minute. Welcome back, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and brought to you by your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, along with some of our great advertisers, and they include Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley, and our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Real quick, Gina, do you have any idea, was there any report that came across the wire this morning? We started getting it last night, and now we are completely socked in with smoke.
Let me do some investigation on all.
Would you? I'd appreciate it. We've had calls here, and people want to know what in the world is burning. Right here, it's so thick, we've had to close our windows.
Okay. Also, Galen Smyer just called in.
Yes.
Burley Junior High, again, is closed. They tried to have classes again this morning, but the power went out, so all parents need to go and pick up their students at Burley Junior High School because the school has been shut down for today.
And, poor Galen. He called me earlier this morning to thank us for putting that on the air yesterday, and now he's got to do this whole problem all over again. Yep. So once again, the Burley Junior High power is out. Parents, please check on your children, and we'll have an update if you get it, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Holy cow, I got to get going here. Want to remind everybody about our dear friends at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-5636. They can help you with all the arrangements and take care of everything. When there's the passing of a loved one, everybody's life is just thrown into turmoil. And they know that older folks have a hard time getting around, and they will come to you and help you with all the arrangements. Please call them, and they'll be there. Joel Heward, the manager, and his staff, wonderful, wonderful people, always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. That number again, 436-5636. It is Thursday, and that means we get a chance to talk to a lovely lady that took her time, and that meant a lot to me, to come down to Ramsey's last week for our Patriots Day, and hats off to farmers. Good morning, Kay Cameron at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. How are you?
I'm great. How are you this morning, Dad?
Great. I really want to say thank you for coming down and being on the program last week. That meant a lot.
Well, it's always a lot of fun, and I always enjoy coming, and it's fun to see everybody, and so thank you for the support that you give to our community and the fun things that you do.
Well, I enjoy it, and it's not really a job. It's just kind of a great big party. I enjoy all the wonderful people, and I think the same can be said of you. You really like your job. You really are good at your job at the Chamber of Commerce. So that being said, what's coming up that we need to talk about?
Well, what I want to talk about today is I have my car full, and Heather has her car full of our volunteers, and I just want to give a big shout out to all of the volunteers in our community. We're doing a volunteer recognition day, and we have got Dr. History's CD in the CD drive. We're going to follow the Oregon Trail and listen to the history all the way out to the City of Rocks and see what's going on out to the City of Rocks today, and let our volunteers see some of the new things that are going on and have them experience firsthand the history CD, so that when people come to our visitor center, they can help them and share with them the things that we learned today.
I love that. Now, tell me, this is not hard to take. When you get up in the morning, a lot of people say, I don't want to go to work, but you, look at the fun you're having.
I know. Today, my office will be at the City of Rocks with a group of great people, so we're very excited. And, you know, I don't do this kind of thing all the time. In fact, this is the first time I've had the opportunity to go with our volunteers, because Jackie's always gone with them, but I'm very excited to get to travel with them and spend the day with them, and it's fun, and there's so much to learn and so many things to see.
You know, Dr. History put a nice verbiage tape together on the Oregon Trail, and there's so much history in this area with the Oregon and the California Trail and all the history here in the valley. Wow, I envy you. I wished I was there in the car with you right now.
Well, you certainly can be. We do something for our volunteers every year, and if there's anybody out there that is looking for something to do, we're always looking for new volunteers. Come by and talk to us about our volunteering opportunities. Don't come today because we're not there, but any other day, come by and see us. You know, when our volunteers are gone and we're gone, we just have to close up our doors because that's how it goes today. But every other day, we'll be there. We sure do appreciate our volunteers, and we're just thrilled that we can do something fun with them today.
All right. Now tell us, tomorrow you'll be back in your office again, and if people have questions about anything you've talked about or anything to go sightseeing or anything coming up on the calendar, well, how can they get a hold of you?
Come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minikajachamber.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and connect with us on LinkedIn.
Okay. Kay Cameron, God bless. Have a safe day and enjoy all the outside activities. I think it's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All righty. Boy, that sounds like fun, taking the volunteers around and showing them all the sights and everything and listening to Dr. History on his tape of the Oregon Trail. Wow, that's a great, great day. By the way, I also want to say thank you to Let's Ride, Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley. That is where the fun is sold. I'm telling you, there's so much going on right now. A lot of people don't want to think about winter. A lot of people don't want to think about snow. But there are those of us that think about vroom, 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 getting on the snowmobiles and having fun. Well, I'll tell you what, they've got all your snowmobile needs right there at Let's Ride. You better believe it. Come in and check out the brand new snow machines they've got in stock. And, oh, by the way, now's the time to get your watercraft winterized. And don't forget, they've got all your ATVs, all the accessories, everything right there for you. What a great place to go Christmas shopping, too. Let's Ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley, where the fun is sold. Really, really nice people. You know, I want to slow the pace down just a little bit. And I want you to remember a man that is behind bars. He's been in captivity in Iran for 2 years. And the only reason that he is in captivity, being treated and tortured as an animal, is because he's a Christian. And that is Pastor Saeed Abedini. And I got this notice and I thought, I'm just sick about what's happening with a lack of response from this president and Secretary of State. Nobody really seems to care. It's been over 700 days. American pastor Saeed Abedini boarded a flight to Iran and never came back. All he was doing is trying to go over and help children build an orphanage. That's it. And the Iranians thought, that's too subversive. That's against the Muslims. And they threw him in a terror prison. And he's been beaten. His health has suffered. He's almost been near death. And nobody really seems to care. And I understand they're going to have a prayer vigil. And this prayer vigil is going to be a worldwide observance. And this is going to be on September 25th, next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, outside the White House in Lafayette Park. And I just wished I could be there and be a part of it. I really, really do. I know Jordan Sekulow and Jay Sekulow and many others with various organizations are going to be back there, and I'm going to try to lend as much support as I can. I am going to try to get his wife on this program again next week so that we can talk about how he's doing and pray. And I ask you to pray, to bring this United States pastor, a resident of Boise, back home. He has missed so many days with his children and his wife, and I just wish this administration, for all the things they get involved in, why can't they get more involved with getting this United States pastor out of prison and bring him home? What's he guilty of again? Trying to be a great humanitarian and build an orphanage. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. It's too bad that Abedini isn't an illegal alien or a Muslim. They'd probably have him out in 5 minutes.
Jerry,
he's a Christian guy trying to do some good instead of chop people's head off and kill people. They won't do a thing for him.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why our government operates like this. What's the matter with our Senate and our House and all our governors?
No guts.
All of them ought to be screaming bloody murder.
No guts.
It's just not right.
I totally agree with you, Jerry, and I thank you for your phone call, but I'll say this to you, and I want your response. I absolutely look at Crapo, I look at Risch, I look at Simpson, I look at Labrador, I look at anybody in any other state, form a coalition of power and make demands to the State Department that they do something instead of just giving lip service that they're studying the situation.
You nailed it on the head, Zeb. Let's just keep nailing it. Maybe one of these days that hammer will break through.
I hope so. Thank you, Jerry. God bless you, man. Thanks so much.
You have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless you and all your audience.
Jerry brings up an interesting point, and we've got Tamarisi, Sergeant Tamarisi down in Mexico in that prison. What did he do wrong? Nothing. And he's held in captivity now, 6 months? And he suffers from PTSD, and he served 2 tours in Afghanistan fighting for our United States Marines. And nobody's doing anything about getting him out, really. Nobody's done anything about getting Pastor Abedini released, really. I don't understand why we can't be more protective and demanding for our own. Somebody had called in, this has been 6-7 months ago, when I had Pastor Abedini's wife on my program. And they called in afterwards, and the person evidently hadn't taken the time or the effort to understand Pastor Abedini and what he was doing over there, and said something that was very crude in regards to, well, it's his problem, he's there, he shouldn't have been there in the first place, and he caused the problem. And I had to really reprimand that caller that day to understand the situation before shooting off his mouth. Pastor Abedini is guilty of nothing but being a humanitarian and trying to build an orphanage. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Zeb?
Yes.
I can tell you exactly why nothing's being done. We have the Muslim Brotherhood in the White House, and we've got people running scared, and they don't dare do anything.
You know, Kilt Man, there would have been a time, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, that I would have said, now let's look at the facts and let's make sure that we have all the facts gathered before we say anything. And I'm not going to be that way anymore. I see too much happening with our administration. I see these people infiltrating our government. I see the Obama administration turning and showing a blind eye and a deaf ear to what's going on. And so I am in total agreement. And this program is going to call it like it is, and I'm never going to turn a blind eye or a deaf ear again.
Well, neither will I. Anybody ask me, I'll tell them just exactly what's going on. I mean, the facts are the facts. Everything leads to that somebody else is controlling it and not the American people.
You know, let's talk about Tamarisi for a moment down in Mexico, Kilt Man. There was a case right there where John Kerry was with the president of Mexico. There could have been a direct, listen, let him go, make every move you can to get him loose. We have been more than subordinate of your people coming across our border and breaking our laws. Let this man loose, and nothing was said or done.
That's exactly right. You know, they're sitting there supporting all these people over in Eastern Iraq and stuff like that, but they won't take care of their own people. I mean, you look at what's going on with Benghazi, everything else, Fast and Furious, the whole 9 yards, all the way down. Guess what? We've got the wrong person in the White House, and people, time to wake up.
Amen. Thanks, Kilt Man. God bless you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, what he said is true. And here I go again. I'll take heat for this because of Congressman Mike Simpson. Mike called in it's been a long time ago. I forgot how long it's been. It's been almost 2 years since Mike Simpson has called into this program. And I'm going to just say it like it is. He's been avoiding me. And we got into a little tit for tat over the fact that he chastised people that were against Muslims being involved in our government, the Muslim Brotherhood. And he said we were McCarthyists. And he chastised Michelle Bachmann in a letter because of her inquiries about why we're catering to them in Hillary's staff and also on the White House staff. We were right, Mike Simpson was wrong. And he hasn't called in since. And I wonder if he will. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd like to hear from you. I also want to remind you about our dear friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Dean Cameron, Todd Siemens. When it comes to life insurance, you want to make sure you're protected and your family is protected. When it comes to health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, you want to make sure that you're working with people that really know what's going on and you are protected. Well, they're dedicated and responsive to your needs and always accessible to help you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. The number to call, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance. You know what? I think we'll start this a little bit early this morning. Where in the world did all these dogs come from anyway? Holy smokes, they're all over the place. Look at here. I got them running here and everywhere, and holy cow. Who let those dogs out? Doggone it. Ken Mort, Officer Mort and his staff did a great job of corralling them and getting them all put into the dog pound, and look what you did. You let them loose. What's going on over there, Mort?
Hey, good morning, Zeb. How we doing today?
Not too bad.
Well, that's good to hear.
All right. How are you?
Actually, I'm doing great. Doing a little something different today. And I don't have one to feature today because I want to talk to everybody out there about their responsibility of taking care of their pets. And as everybody knows, Annette, it is harvest season. There are a lot more trucks out there on the road. There's a lot more farm equipment out on the road. Everybody needs to take responsibility and make sure they're keeping their pets, Annette, secured. Annette, because just this week alone, I've wound up cleaning probably 5 or 6 of them up off the side of the road, Annette, that have been hit by either farm equipment or large trucks.
Oh, boy.
I mean, it's real sad and stuff, Annette, to see somebody's family pet laying on the side of the road because it got loose or they didn't keep it contained and it wound up losing its life.
Well, wait a minute, stop for a second, because what you're saying needs to be amplified even bigger. There are so many farm trucks on the road right now hauling grain or beets or spuds or whatever the case might be, and they go a little slower, and rightfully so, and that means you might have 4 or 5 or 6 vehicles falling behind, and a lot of dogs look at that as some kind of a parade that they've got to be inquisitive about and run up by the road and take a look, and that's where the problems start. And boy, I'll tell you what, we keep our dog caged up during harvest time. This is a busy highway anyway, but why add to the misery of having them get on the road?
Exactly. I mean, it's real sad. I mean, especially when you're getting some of these younger dogs. Like the other day and stuff, and that I got called. I think it was on Friday. To go out east of Paul, and that dog had been hit out there by a cement truck that was unable to swerve on that because there were farm trucks and stuff and that coming from the other direction.
Absolutely.
And when you got a cement truck that's completely loaded with cement, they don't stop very fast.
And they can't swerve.
Exactly. So, I mean, and that it was the only thing he could do and stuff and that was wind up hitting the dog. He felt really bad about it and everything. I mean, I was talking to one of the guys that he works with, and he said he's been devastated over it.
Yeah.
I mean, but people need to make sure that they're keeping their dogs secured. I mean, Idaho does have a law and stuff, and that even if you live out in the country, and that if you live near any city, town, village, farmland, pasture land, cultivated land, or another dwelling house, you're required by law and stuff and that to keep your dog contained.
I would throw another situation into the mix, and it may not be very big to you, but I've noticed this happening in the fall of the year. And tell me, you can laugh at me if you wish, but there's another reason at this fall of the year why people need to be really in control of their dogs, and that is because of hunting season. Whether it's with the pheasants, whether it's people going through the fields or whatever that have permission, they are always cases where we've had dogs, chasing after them, and you can't blame the hunters. They've got to protect themselves. And I'll tell you what, I've been a hunter many, many times where strange dogs have come into an area where I've been hunting, and they've caused a lot of disruption and a lot of problem.
Oh yeah, I mean we've had just the other day we had a couple of dog bites reported.
Yeah.
I mean it wasn't dealing with hunters, but still, I mean if somebody's out there hunting and you got a stray dog or your dog is out running loose and stuff and out in the area,
yep,
and it gets aggressive towards somebody, I mean, tries to bite somebody. I mean, they've got every right by law and stuff and that to protect themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I hate to see it happen, but I mean, they're going to protect themselves and have to keep from getting bit.
And you can't expect to put a 100-pound dog on a little bitty thin chain that was designed to basically hold a little dachshund. I mean, these chains have got to be chains because they'll hit the end of those chains with those keepers on their collar and pop them like a noodle.
Oh yes, I mean, and especially if you've got a good-sized dog and you get those collars that have the plastic clips.
That's right.
And them squeezing clips.
They will not
I've watched
stay.
So many dogs and stuff and that hit the end of that and bust them plastic clips like they were nothing.
Absolutely. I just absolutely get worried and more concerned than ever this time of the year. And, you bring up an excellent point, Ken, that people get things for their dog that really, they're not tested, they're not proven, they're not going to hold that dog. Like you said, they throw their weight in the force against that chain and that collar, it's going to pop.
Exactly, and I mean, so they need to make sure that stuff, and that when they're buying things for their pets, that they're getting something that pet that's going to withstand what that pet does to it. I mean, I've seen dogs and stuff and that bust chains. I mean, if you can go down instead of getting a chain, they make those cable systems and stuff and that vary in size for depending on the weights of the dogs.
Yeah.
There's other alternatives out there. Just make sure that when you're purchasing something for your pet, that it's going to be something that pet's not going to be able to break or damage.
All right, we've got a quick call. I'm almost out of time. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go quick.
Hey, Zeb, sorry about that. I've got a little story for you. You got a picture of St. Bernard that's an oversized puppy. We thought we were smart and had him nicely hooked up to a fiberglass shell that was his doghouse, and a tractor went by, and next thing you know, you see this doghouse behind this St. Bernard just bounding down the road, just flowing down a bit.
I shouldn't laugh, but I can see it bouncing like a Spalding basketball behind a St. Bernard. Oh, my.
That's exactly what I was doing. I was just flopping down the road. Boom, 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 boom.
Thanks, Giltman. I appreciate it. Ken, that's a great example right there of making sure that it's strong enough to hold them.
Exactly. I mean, I've even seen those little screw-in things that people put into the ground.
Yeah.
I've actually watched dogs yank them out of the ground.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and it's just, it wasn't strong enough to hold them. So, I mean, you definitely need to make sure that when you're securing them to something on that it's something that's going to hold.
All right. Well, Ken, I think your point is well taken this morning, that if people are going to keep their dogs outside of a kennel, I hear somebody in the background, but anyway, when you put your dogs out of a kennel on a chain, make sure they're strong enough. Caller, real quick. I've only got 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, I just want to say I had a Mastiff, and we had to have a logging chain hooked up to a heavy trailer to keep that dog from taking off, and even then, they jerked the chain and they'd dig the tongue of the trailer right into the ground. He'd still be able to drag it a bit.
I appreciate that, caller. Thank you, and appreciate the input. Ken, real quick, how can they get a hold of you at Minidoka Animal Control?
They can call us at 438-2200 or 670-7268.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much. God bless. We'll see you later. I'll see you Saturday.
Yes, you will. Looking forward to it.
All right, Ken. Thank you very much.
All right, Zeb.
Oh, who let those dogs out anyway? Oh, Minidoka Animal Control, Ken Moore. Very nice guy. Hey, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Well, I'm asking you if you just heard that. I hope you did, because if you didn't, you might have a hearing problem. All the more reason that you'd better get a hold of Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids and talk to them and see what they can do to help you restore your hearing loss. That's right, Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology, at 1218 9th Street, Unit 2, behind the Minidoka Hospital. Let me say that again, Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and the number to call for an appointment to have your hearing checked and an examination, 312-0957. That number again, 312-0957. Did you hear that? Well, I hope so. Mount Harrison Audiology with Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology. We're going to go to the phone line right now. My goodness, I'm running just a tad late. I apologize for that. And we have with us a lovely lady that absolutely knows all about politics and what's going on. And we say good morning to Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How you doing?
Rita, the more I turn on the news every morning, early at 3:45, and then I'm a news junkie. I follow it all through the days with various news programs to keep me enlightened. Every single thing that was said in that Obama speech last week in regards to fighting terror and fighting ISIS, I don't know if you agree with me, but this administration, and particularly this president, I think it was only lip service, and they've changed almost everything that they had said.
Well, it was, and you can tell that they weren't even on the same page, or else they are so smart to just confuse the heck out of all of us. I think it's that they're inept, but anyway, it didn't matter. There was one branch, Biden was saying one thing, John Kerry was saying another thing, the generals were saying one thing, and Obama was saying, and they were all saying something different, and it was kind of like, okay, do you understand what you're really saying, or maybe you're just doing all of this because you don't have a place to stand, and that makes me, like I said, maybe they're so smart that they've just baffled all of us because they're giving us all these different stories and giving them directions that they can actually go. I don't know. I think that they're just inept and just off the charts.
Let me ask you this, and I know that I'm prejudiced against Barack Obama. I don't like the man and his ideology. Never have. But he has never done anything to try to warrant my respect, especially not being anything more than a community organizer. And here is a man that is telling generals that have fought in the trenches, generals that understand warfare, generals that know how to win, and he, Obama, is developing and overriding their strategy? I don't think so.
Well, that was what my next point was going to be. You would think that if someone was a leader, that they would go to their people who should be in the know of this, and that they should take the information that those people give and seriously consider it. It's obvious that nobody's going to tell him what to do. He knows what to do, and I don't care if you've been in the military for 40 years and know what we need to do. I know better, and it just really is bothersome because when somebody is like that, we're in for a big fall, and I'm afraid that these generals know what's going on and know that there's going to be some problems. And they were also probably saying, we ought to just go bomb the crap out of them when they first asked for help over there in the Middle East. And Obama wouldn't do it, and so it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and it's spreading all over everywhere.
I reported earlier this morning when I saw a little bit on the news early this morning about ISIS having their websites and magazines and catalogs out worldwide selling T-shirts and caps and keychains and hoodies. Rita, these are terrorist killers. And the only thing they live for is the destruction, maiming, and killing of others. And they're selling their T-shirts and caps as if they were some kind of a sports team. How sick and perverted is our society becoming?
Well, it's really sad because you have a lot of people, and the majority of them are people who have come from maybe broken homes or areas where they've got situations where they just want to be included in something. That's what happens with the gangs. They've kind of found that the majority of those youth that sign up to be in the gangs, they're just looking for a place to be included because their family is not an area where they want to be, which is a sad deal, and that's why the breakdown of the family is a big problem on society. But you have these youth that go off and say, well, they'll include me, or we're all brothers, or whatever, and they kind of join up thinking that they're going to have camaraderie, and in their skewed way of thinking, they're thinking, well, I'll do whatever I have to do, and then pretty soon they're kind of locked into something that they can't get out of because they didn't think of any of the consequences that would come. I had heard this morning, I can't even remember where it was, that in Australia, I think it was Australia, there were about 50 people that were had joined ISIS, and they're over there kind of together, and their number one thing is to go door to door and take heads off.
Oh my God!
So,
I just can't understand where our so-called civilized society has gone. And well, to add to your story, what in the world would compel? What in the world would make teenagers that live in the greatest country in the world, that affords all the possibilities for these people to grow up and do what they want, even now today in a sad, sick economy, what would make them want to join ISIS, go overseas? There was a couple of young ladies that were pregnant teenagers that have gone over to ISIS and they want to become human bombs. What in the world is the matter with us?
I don't know, and I'll kind of bounce back to the thing that I think it happens when they're in the part of a dysfunctional family. They don't fit into their community. They're probably not attending church regularly so that they feel like that they have some camaraderie among a congregation. Those kinds of things are important. As society as a whole would kind of poo-poo on that idea, but I think it's really true because I know that the congregation that I attend, I feel like that those people in that congregation are my brothers and sisters, and we feel like that, if I need some help, they would help me out, or if I see somebody there that needs a little bit of help, then we would together as a congregation help out and do various different things, and that helps you to build a brotherhood to where you've got a place, you've got a purpose, and I think that's important. That's what fills the human soul. And when you're not filling the human soul, it becomes empty and it just is a shell. And I think that's what this happened with these people who were joining these groups. They're thinking, oh, I can just join up and I'll be part of a big brotherhood and we'll all sing Kumbaya together. And then they get in and they start finding out that's not what it is, but they're in and it's like they have to do it or they die.
Yeah, but Rita, wait a minute. What about the semblance of right and wrong? There is always a right and a wrong in society, and this is what's happened in our society. The liberal left loons, these crackpots, these worthless people that want to preach that there is no right and wrong, there is no black and white, anything they want to do, just go do. That's what's the matter with our society today. We've lost sight of what is right and what is wrong.
No, you're absolutely right, and the thing comes right back to the parents, though. If parents teach children that there are consequences to decisions, and these are the kinds of consequences you get. When you do good stuff, you get good consequences, and when you do bad stuff, you have bad consequences. And there's lots of parents out there that are not parenting. They have not taught their children that there's consequences, and you shall pay the price. And they understand that there's, like I said, the things that can happen because of the decisions that you make. When they do that in our society, it's like, oh, parents, you can't require your kids to do this, or you can't discipline your child, you can't do this, that, and the other. And it is more of the liberal side, and the other part of it is that it comes with the political correctness. And what the liberals want to say is, everybody can just do whatever they want and there's no consequences and just do it to feel good. And we're having a backlash from the 60s and the early 70s when the hippies started raising kids and they came from a feel-good society. Now, they're not the majority, but they're the ones who are really screaming to high heaven that we should be able to do what we want, and we're in our third generation now with those kind, and it's just growing and growing and growing.
Rita, I said on the air the other day, and I'm going to stand behind this, that I don't care if it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't care if it's Dubuque, Iowa. I don't care if it's Trenton, New Jersey. I don't care if it's Bakersfield, California. We sometimes in this area, we feel immune. We feel so far away from what might happen in other areas, and that is the biggest, most naive, brainless thought we could ever have, because it can happen anywhere.
Well, you're absolutely right. We look at it and say that could never happen here, and then we find out that it does or it could. The thing that has to happen is we have to be on our guard, and we have to make sure that we're in an area where we don't let those kinds of things happen or do what we can to prevent them. We can't prevent everything, and that's true. But there is a lot of that kind of stuff that goes on that we think would never happen here, and it's like an infection, and it just keeps infecting and moving across any demographic that there is.
Obama's numbers are absolutely falling through the bottom of the bucket. And a lot of people, a lot of political pundits have said that if the Senate is changed over to go Republican this year, instead of keeping the Democratic majority, that Obama will get nothing more done during his last 2 years as president. That being said, I have talked to a lot of people on the East Coast. I've talked to a lot of people with various think tanks. I've talked to people with the Daily Caller and people that are heavily involved in politics every day of their life. And they are starting to voice a huge concern that if Obama's backed into a corner, he may do something that will absolutely be pathetic for the United States. Why is this concern all of a sudden happening?
Well, I think that some of them are finally opening up their eyes. There's those of us that have said that for several years now, that if we don't watch out, this man can become a dictator, and that's what I'm sorry, but I just really think that's what he wants. And I could just be on a conspiracy train. I'm the engineer. I've mentioned that several times, but I really think that he has he's so narcissistic that he can think he can do what he wants, and he does. The other thing that's bad about it is he's got all of these people that are backing him saying, well, you can do that, and they're just propping him up. I honestly feel like he's kind of getting tired of it, and he's like, okay, well, you guys do that, and I'm just going to go golf. I think that's why he has these other interests, is because he's not interested at all in what's going on. And I think that some of them are trying to prop him up and saying, you can do this, because, every once in a while he'll give a speech. The speech that he gave the other day, I think he was at a military place, he said, as your commander-in-chief, I promise you that we will not have any boots on the ground in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And it was almost like he was scolding everybody.
Yeah.
And he gets to doing that, and that's when I think he starts feeling like, okay, I'm in charge or whatever. And then you see him another time, and it's kind of like, you're not even with us during this press conference. You can tell that he's just not even involved in it at all.
I want to do the weather forecast, and when I come back, I want you, from the lady and female angle, tell me about Hillary Clinton. Okay, so stand by for that. Weather this hour is brought to everybody by Lennox Home Comfort Systems, and they're available through our dear friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. And don't forget, Ramsey Heating and Electric with Lennox Home Comfort Systems, gas furnaces, air conditioners, and heat pumps. All you have to do is stop into Ramsey's at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Here now is the weather.
Looks like partly to mostly cloudy skies for today. About a 30% chance of rain showers, slightly breezy. Winds out of the southwest, right around 6 miles an hour. High of 82, tonight low of 54. Tomorrow partly cloudy and 80. And for Saturday, looks like sunny skies and 84.
All right, thank you, Gina. Excellent job. And, of course, don't forget Lennox Home Comfort Systems through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. Rita, I have already been accused of sexism, being against Hillary. I've already had the emails. I've already had the calls on my cell phone. And I'm going to give you an ample opportunity to fire both barrels at the shotgun at me, but I'm going to come right out and say this. I think this country will be worse off in the long run with Hillary Clinton as president than we are currently with Barack Hussein Obama. Go ahead, chew me out.
Well, actually, I think you're right, because he's led us on a direction that I don't know whether we can ever come back from, but all it will do is get worse if we have her, or even a Democrat, really, but especially her, because she is so far left and liberal. She's really almost communist, socialist. And unless we get somebody that will help pull us back the other direction, it is going to get worse. The thing of it is the Clintons never had to face responsibility for any kinds of actions that they made. There were no consequences that they were asked to accept, and they can just do whatever they want. And that shows with the Benghazi thing and all of that. There was absolutely no consequences. There was no questions asked. It's just like we're just going to cover this up and everything's going to be fine. And I feel like that we will just end up with another far-reaching going down the wrong direction.
Rita, you mentioned Benghazi, and there have been allegations, like I reported on the first of the week, from Raymond Maxwell, the underdeputy of the State Department, that has said he personally saw people sifting through records on Benghazi and sorting them out, saying that, hey, back off, it's our orders, and we don't want to incriminate anything against Hillary. They are going to be talking about that over the next couple of weeks with the hearings that are being conducted by Trey Gowdy. What do you think? I mean, if this is proven that they were trying to protect Hillary at the State Department over the Benghazi scandal, what do you think is going to happen, and will it absolutely null and void her candidacy for president?
Well, if it continues, it will. The big problem is that you don't have any of the big three news medias picking it up.
That's right.
Or the big four, rather, I should say. CNN hasn't picked it up either. If some of those will start picking it up and reporting on it, it will rear its head and show what had actually happened. If they don't pick it up, there's all those people out there that have no clue what was going on, and it won't bother them in the least, that there were Americans killed, and it was covered up by the Democrats, all in the name of running for president, and we could have the same scenario. So I'm kind of waiting to see how it will play out, because the information that I get and the news that I watch, I try to get a pretty good view of it. I'll go on Drudge Report and some of those to pick up stories, and then I try to listen to kind of the general media occasionally during the day. But it's all a matter of getting people informed, and if you can keep people from being informed, you can be whatever you want to be, and they're your slaves. And that's what the news media has, is it's kind of like, we'll give them what we want. However, I think that the Democrats are controlling a lot of what those other news medias can actually bring.
Let me ask you, though, when you look at the qualifications of a person to be president, I mean, let's go back and let's talk about, well, were they a senator? Well, were they a congressman? Well, were they a lawyer? Well, had they done this, that, or the other thing? All I want from you is to tell me, where in the world can Hillary draw on consequences and past history or effort to qualify her for being a president with any more or less abilities than Barack Obama? This guy is absolutely destitute of any abilities or past history. She's even worse.
Well, you and I would say that, but other people will say, well, her husband was the president, and she was in there making decisions with him all the time, so she's totally qualified. So it's just a matter of people becoming informed, I think, and it's sad, because there are so many people out there that just do not get the information, and that's where we as individual citizens need to start spreading it, as we're sitting around the lunch table, as we're having a conversation. Maybe we're waiting in line at the grocery store, and you know somebody, and you know that they probably don't think the same way you do. You can toss out things like, well, what do you think if Hillary becomes president? You going to support her, or what do you think about it? Just start, drilling, asking questions, trying to get people to tell you what they think. So if they need to have a little bit of food for thought, you can share it with them, and then they can start maybe getting a little more informed.
Real quick question here, and I've only got 2 minutes left, but I wanted you to comment a little bit on the domestic violence that is taking place in the NFL. I said something last hour. I already have had repercussions. People are saying, oh, race, we got to be so careful and not say anything racist. But all of the people so far that have been accused and or allegedly accused or have been arrested have been black players with domestic violence. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think it's too bad that it's happened. I think that those players should have been put on a waiver to sit out for a while until the things were decided on how it was going to go. And instead, I think it was handled the wrong way. But nevertheless, that has been a topic of discussion. And, I read 2 different articles, and that's what I wanted to share today, is I wanted to share a little good news. In the NFL, there's 2 articles that are excellent good news. There was a Polynesian guy who played for I think he played for the Colts, I'm not sure. But anyway, he retired after 10 years of playing in the NFL because his brother, who was an NFL player, needed a kidney, and so he retired so that he could give him a kidney. And he said, somebody asked him, if that make you the hero, and he said, no, because I would do that for any of my siblings. I love my family first, and I would do that. And the other article that I wanted to share with you that didn't really take a lot of stage out front, and I thought it should have, was the Cincinnati ball player that it looked like he may not make the first cut, but he had a young son who was in stage 4 cancer, and so the Cincinnati people didn't cut him. They let him stay on to see if he could muster enough for the next cut to make the team. And he actually made the team, and as soon as he made the team, the management put his jersey out there and said, we're going to sell his jersey, and whoever buys it, that money's going to go to the Cincinnati Children's Center for research and so forth. And so people have been buying those jerseys just right and left to do that. And there was a coach, the New Orleans coach, bought 100 of those shirts himself to help with the donation. So there are some good things happening. We're just not hearing it.
And I wish we could. I wish we could. I've got to wrap it up, but I just want to say the negativity that stems forth in the news media and all the bad, these are stories that need to be highlighted, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you so much. Rita, real quick, Tea Party. I've only got 30 seconds.
Our next Tea Party is going to be on October 9th. That's a Thursday, and we're going to have an author. His name is Trevor Loudon. He wrote the book, The Enemies Within. And he'll be coming to our Tea Party meeting, so everybody mark your calendar and bring a friend. You need to hear what he's got to say. It should be quite interesting.
I'll tell you what, Trevor's been on my program before, and if you'll call me on my cell phone later on today, maybe we could do an interview with him that same morning and highlight it so that everybody's aware of what's taking place later on. How's that?
Okay, real good.
All right, thanks, Rita.
Okay,
God bless.
Beth.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, my. About this time of the morning, and we get up, like I said, about 3:45 in the morning, and we have a little bitty bowl of cereal, and I'm hungry. I am hungry right now and starving to death, and I know Gina is over at the station, too. Well, if you're hungry and starving to death, I know some great places to go. How about Taco Bandito? Southern baked burrito, either soft shell or grilled shell, made with chicken or steak, that special way that just Kip knows how. Oh my goodness, it's delicious. Or try the tamalito burrito, or try the chimichangas, or how about the nacho burritos? It's all good at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Want some more? Okay, here we go. Burgers, etc. 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert, 700 North Overland and Burley. They've got a September special for burgers, etc. Corn dogs and burritos, only 99 cents after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. What a deal! You better stop in to Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Let's move on over to Steve-O's. I was there the other day, had lunch. Oh, I had the steak sandwich. It was absolutely great. 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you like it. They've got a new patio, a new entryway. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. And the friendliest people you'll ever find. Great menu. Try the pork chops with salad and choice of spuds too. That is really good. Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Oh my goodness, how about this? Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley, right next to Berry Equipment. They've got fantastic steaks like ribeye steak, New York steak. They've got fantastic sandwiches. The interior is an environment that's kid and family friendly. You're going to love it. All the food, the service, and it is a neat place. Duck Ugly, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. And last but not least, I'm drooling. I'm so hungry. The AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, my goodness, with the famous Farmer Brown burgers and the ranch burgers and the 3-piece fish and chips with small fry, only $7.25. And they were voted to have the best hamburger award for this year. They're located at 601 East Main in Burley, the AC Drive-In, and they can make any flavor of milkshake that you want. Absolutely. The AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And those are just some great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. Okay, quit biting on the microphone. It's annoying.
I'm starving.
I can tell. Yeah, but you're so skinny.
That I know. I'm starving though.
You can take a bath in a shotgun barrel.
That's why somebody needs to bring me a cheeseburger or something.
Okay, we'll have one of our many listeners. Can you imagine having like 67 cheeseburgers delivered in the next few minutes?
That would be awesome. I would eat like all of them.
I know you would. We're going to take a little break, and then we're coming back, and we're going to have Lee's Furniture and school days in Cassia County and all kinds of things, and Mary Scott at 10:30, and then we're going to have Lunch Bunch coming up at 11:30 this morning. Okay, I'll leave. I'll take the hint. I'll leave for 6 minutes and let the ABC News boys come in and mess things up. I'll see you in 6 minutes. I love that fiddle music. Good morning. Yes, sirree, Bobby. We're down to the last hour. Zeb at the Ranch, and I'm Zeb Bell. Good morning, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and, of course, all 7 locations. And also including our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Good morning to them at 459 Overland on Burley, of course, in Burley. And let's see who's on the phone line. Good morning.
Hey, Zeb, this is Jason. How are you?
Well, Jason, how in the world are you doing over there this morning?
You know what, Zeb, we're doing great. We got some really good specials and have been real busy, so things are going good.
Oh, my goodness. Tell us about it. Now, there's a lot of fall savings going on right now at Lee's Furniture, isn't there?
There sure is. You know, with harvest underway and everybody's real busy, we thought we would run a few real good doorbuster specials to kind of help out as far as that goes. But one thing, Zeb, is our window coverings. We have got them marked off up to 30 to 40% off of the regular sale value. So these are some great buys if you're looking for some of the faux woods or wood blinds or the honeycomb shades, pleated shades. All those have been marked down. And now's a great time. So if you're needing to cover up those windows, hurry on in, and we'll get that taken care of for you.
Well, absolutely. You don't want people on the outside playing peekaboo with you.
Absolutely not. That's never a good thing.
Okay. Well, tell us more. What about the carpet?
You know what? We just got a new shipment of carpet remnants in. Some really nice carpets. We've got some of the Smart Strand silks in. And Zeb, these carpets are at half of wholesale cost when you come buy them this way. And so these are some great buys. Our wall is just packed full of the remnants. In fact, there's some that we can't even fit up on our wall. So we've got them just down on the floor. So come look through. There's a lot of different sizes, colors, styles, textures, and just a great variety to choose from. So hurry on in. We also have a lot of really good roll specials. These are rolls that we buy. We bring them in and stock them. They're here. They're ready to go. We don't have to worry about ordering them in and a wait time there. But then also we get special buying on them, and so it saves a lot of money.
Absolutely. And you've got all the big brand names.
Yep, we sure do. You know, anybody who's looking for those certain styles, you know, we carry a very wide range of manufacturers, you know, from Flex till, you know, your very top high end. We've got, you know, the Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses, which are just outstanding. The Mohawk flooring, the Shaw, the Von Bassett bedroom furniture. We've got a really good selection here. A wide range of options for you to choose from.
Absolutely. And real quick, also, you've got complete rooms made simple, don't you?
We sure do. A 14-piece living room set. This is for people who are wanting to fill up a whole room. And without really breaking the bank. You know, we've got a 14-piece living room set. That's a sofa, a love seat, the occasional tables, the lamps, the accessories, the rug, a throw. It's just the whole package deal. But right now you're only $11.99, and that's not just one set. There's multiple sets to choose from that will fit that criteria. A lot of different table groups, a lot of different lamps. We have professional designers that design these groupings, but you can always veer away from what they've designed and pick a lamp from somewhere else. And it's just a great way if you're wanting to fill up a whole room. So anybody buying a new home happens to have a little more room than they had before, whatnot, it's just a great way to go.
Absolutely, and we're talking to Jason over at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Tell us the hours that you're open, my friend.
Zeb, we're open 9 to 6 on weekdays and then 10 to 5 on Saturday. And hurry in. A lot of these doorbuster items, there's just one option, just what we have in stock. And so as soon as they're gone, they're gone. So don't miss out.
All right. Stand back from the door. We're sending them in. Thank you, Jason. Have a good day.
Thanks, Zeb.
Thank you. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Really nice people. Hey, don't forget, I know some other good folks, too. The Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Oh, listen to this special today. Ginger chicken and almond stir fry over rice and super salad. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Delicious. Ginger chicken and almond stir fry. At the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Great people, great environment. I love it. The Chadwick Sports Grill. You stop in and see them today. Ooh, that sounds really, really good. Right now, it's time for school days in Cassia County, and I am so blessed to have so many people helping us get this all put together. Debbie Critchfield and many others. Thank you so much. And it's brought to you by A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got new fall styles arriving daily. And by the way, if you spend $25, you get a free children's book, and they've got layaway and free gift wrapping, and they urge you to shop locally and save right there in Burley. A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center. It continues to save the area neighbors hundreds and hundreds of dollars and give outstanding medical care in a warm, friendly setting. Now, why don't you call right now, 677-8888, and see if your doctor performs his outpatient surgeries at the Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County. And with us this morning is the District Technology and Federal Programs Coordinator, and I think he's been on my program before, Kevin Bushman. Kevin, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm very good. Good morning, Zeb.
Are these kids today as concerned about graduating high school as we were 25, 30, 40 years ago, or are they taking it lightly?
You know, I think that they're probably looking at it from maybe a different perspective than, this is just my opinion, than from when you and I were kids. I can remember in high school, you know, I could graduate, or at the same time, I had my Navy recruiter on campus, and he had me take the test and figure out what I could do for them, and it was not an issue, and it really wasn't an issue whether I graduated or not. But today, boy oh boy, the kids are faced with a real different reality than we had, and I think it does concern them, but I think sometimes they feel not helpless, but I think sometimes it's overwhelming.
All right, let me ask you this, Kevin, and if I get too far away from the actual meaning of what we're going to talk about this morning, help me. But I can remember, as old as I am, I can remember in high school that I kind of lost my way my sophomore year. And I was only concerned about sports, and I was only concerned about this, that, or the other, and studies I didn't pay much attention to. And then all of a sudden, in the midpoint of my junior year, I started to realize, whoa, wait a minute. If I want to go to college, I better start putting some application and some work behind my grades. Why do kids wait so long? Is it the fault of the teachers? Is it the fault of the parents? Is it the fault of the student? Is it the fault of the guidance counselors? A lot of these kids, all of a sudden, they got their face up against a brick wall.
Yeah, or is it, when you were describing that, I thought you were describing me.
Oh, okay.
Because I can remember, as probably you can, my chemistry teacher also just happened to be the defensive back coach. So he kind of helped get me through. And, my offensive back coach he was teaching math. So, they kind of watched out for us as student athletes. And to be honest with you, I've told this story before. They helped get me through because, like you said, I was interested in football. Everything was based in the here and now, and I think kids haven't changed. I still think that for most of them, there are exceptions, but for most of them, they're looking at today.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at who do we play next Friday, how far away is it, how many sandwiches do I need to pack? Those kind of things haven't changed. The world has changed dramatically, but I think the maturity level of, we're asking a lot if we expect them to act much differently than you and I did. So I think what happens is the reality is all of a sudden, just exactly like you said, you get to be a junior and all of a sudden you start to think, oh my gosh, do I need to take that AP class if I'm going to get to the U of U, or what is it I need to get going? And unfortunately, and that's part of what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get students more engaged at ninth grade.
When you say that at ninth grade, let me ask you this, and I'm being kind of a reverse sexist on this. I would imagine that girls are primarily better thinkers for the future than boys are. I'm thinking back to my high school class, and I can think of at least, I've got my 50-year reunion coming up this next year, and I can think of at least 6 or 7 girls that I went to high school with that were very focused, what they needed to do, how they needed to keep their grades up, what they needed to take, and they were farther ahead than us guys. Do you find that true today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And here's the kind of odd thing is you can see it because I get all around I get to the different schools and districts. You can see it in kindergarten, and I can see it with my own grandkids. I mean, the grandsons are interested in tearing things apart and smashing things and making noise. And, the girls are interested in reading. They're interested in sitting down. And I know that does sound sexist, but it's true. They're interested in and guess what? Those are the same activities that are nurtured and rewarded in school. So the students who are, good readers, the students who are really engaged in those kind of activities, they typically do well. And guess what? A lot of times, I'm just going to say it, a lot of times, like you say, those are the girls, and the boys are more interested in pulling things apart, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I would say this, that it's not a fact, and I honestly believe this, Kevin. In most cases, it's not a fact of the student being stupid or not being educated enough. The fact is that they're just not prepared. I think all of a sudden their junior year, life really comes up and hits them in the face, and it's not just football, it's not just basketball, it's not just learning how to drive a 57 Chevy. It all of a sudden hits you in the face that maybe I'm not going to graduate and maybe I'm not going to go to college.
Exactly. Exactly. So you've just summarized kind of the reason that we're trying to add some different pieces and parts to help get these kids going and moving forward. Exactly.
What do you suggest, though, to the parents, and now that I'm an old fogey, I can look back with a lot of regrets that I had in high school. I wished I would have done this. I wished I wouldn't have done that. But what do you suggest now? How can we get these kids aware at those ages to be more prepared? Do we go through the parents? Do we go through the guidance counselors? Who do we go through? What do we do?
I think from my perspective, the best thing you can do is give your child, your student, exposure. And what I mean is, find out what they're interested in. I've told all my boys who are now old that, the ideal job is doing what you like to do and having somebody pay you to do it.
Yeah.
So if you discover early on, that you have an aptitude, let's say for welding, or for mechanics, or for who knows what it is. If you can discover those talents early on, then as a parent, what you do is you provide opportunities to enrich those skills, those innate skills and interests that they already have, and to build on them. And you know what? I've told this before too, that look around Burley and try to find a plumber or an electrician or a good mechanic. I've been lucky and found all of those, but those are bright people. Holy cow.
Yeah,
and I think, talking to them, they make a pretty good living now.
Yeah, Kevin, let me just say this, though, and you can argue this if you want. We're almost out of time. I could go on and talk about this for a long time.
Okay.
I think that people in education like yourself and guidance counselors, they've got to have dynamic personalities. They've got to sit there and instill in these kids the fireworks and the greatness of the future, and they can't be like that teacher in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They can't just go Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. They've got to create some enthusiasm with these kids.
I agree. I absolutely agree, because and it's tough to develop charisma and that kind of those kind of characteristics if innately you don't already have them.
Absolutely.
I agree with you. The teachers that I can remember, it was the football coach that told me, I hate to tell you this, but you're not going to play Division I football anywhere. But, you're pretty good and at that point it was woodworking. So, and I looked at that for a while, but it was because, and the other thing I guess would piggyback on what you're saying is enthusiasm and then an interest. If you feel like somebody's interested in you, that makes a world of difference.
Right there is, I hate to end it, but you just said it right there. A lot of times I remember my junior year walking out of that guidance counselor office feeling so depressed that I had to scrape my lip off the floor. I mean, They didn't do anything to instill in me enthusiasm to hit that English room and that biology room and that advanced algebra room. They just kind of left me like, well, you ain't gonna do nothing if you don't do this. I mean, You've got to build a fire under these kids.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Come back and talk to us again, would you, Kevin?
I will. I'd love to.
All right. District Technology and Federal Programs Coordinator for Cassia County, Kevin Bushman. Great guy. Thank you so much for being on the program. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
School Days in Cassia County brought to you by A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, and Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. I love that discussion. I got to get him back on the air. Debbie, did you hear that? I hope so. Thank you very much. Let's see. I've got to pay some bills here real quick. Don't forget, Ramsey Heating and Electric can offer rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, an air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. As a Lennox independent dealer for many, many years, I think 51, 52 years? Help me on that one. They know the climate, they know the equipment, and they've done the shopping for you. Call them today, Ramsey Heating and Electric, 678-0459. Remember, at Ramsey's, they sell warm winters and cool summers. Really nice people. Let's see, where am I at? I am going now via the phone, thanks to my lovely cohort in crime, Gina. I believe she's going to get Nick on the line over at Berry Equipment and Rental. Right, Gina?
I thought I was looking for Eli, and so I was...
I thought Deanne said she emailed that to you. I'm sorry.
The Burley store.
No, I'm sorry. I thought Deanne said she had emailed that to you. Oh.
I thought it was Eli, so give me a second.
No, not a problem. No, I can just sit here and go on and on and on. What we're going to do is we're going to talk to him for a few minutes, and then at 10:30 this morning, we're going to have Mary Scott on. We're going to talk to her just for a few moments about the Golden Heritage Senior Center, and then we're going to leave just a few minutes early on the program, and Gina's going to kind of fill in for us. We're going to zip on over to Denny's because it is Lunch Bunch Day. And we're going to be thankful again to Smith's Food King, Walmart, and Hanson Mortuary for the door prizes we're going to give away at Lunch Bunch. Gina, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And let's say good morning to Nick at Berry Equipment and Rental at the Burley location, 159 West Highway 30. Good morning, Nick. What are you doing?
Oh, good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
Who is in charge over there at Berry of moving all the equipment, all the Coyote tractors and the Doosan loaders? And that's a full-time job in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a pretty good staff over here. We shuffle things around, but honestly, things have just been selling quite a bit. We've been demoing all over the valley, and about half the time things don't even come back. So it's been our best year ever.
Oh, my goodness. I'm glad to hear that. Now, tell us, what's the big movers and shakers right now this time of the year? I would imagine the Doosan loaders getting ready for winter to clean out all those corrals and everything. And what about all the Coyote tractors? Tell us what's happening over there.
Well, right now we're running a promotion with Coyote tractors. Deal is, if you come and demo a Coyote from us, and we of course won't charge for that. If you're serious about buying a tractor, come demo it. We're so convinced that you're going to like it. If you end up buying a competitor's product, Kubota, John Deere, Mahindra, Andy Berry will buy you dinner at the Rock Creek Restaurant in Twin Falls. We just want people to give us a shot. If you don't like it, great, we'll buy you dinner.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Does the guy promoting it get the dinner, too? Can I tag along, please, please, please?
Oh, you betcha.
I'll tell you what, those Coyote tractors get the job done. And I understand also that you've got a whole bunch of man lifts over there to get people way up in the air to get the job done, right?
We do. We go anywhere from 20 feet up in the air all the way to 64. We just got a brand new one in. It's actually in our Twin Falls location now. A little electric dude, but it'll still run over all the rough terrain on a construction site. Really handy, and you can tow it behind your own vehicle instead of having to deliver on a semi.
Okay. Now, what is the procedure over there? I mean, do people just come in and they say we want to rent a Coyote tractor or we want to rent a loader? Tell us what happens over there if they're buying or renting.
Just come on in, we'll get your information, name, phone number, address, and that's about it. Get on the road, get your job done, and bring it back when you're finished. If you want to buy it, we can get you financed. We have 3 great companies we work with. We can finance about 75% of the people that walk in the door.
Okay. And that's about it, huh?
Yeah, piece of cake. We try to be easy to deal with.
Well, I know you were really nice people, but there's also one other thing I want to mention. I heard, and I've heard from impeccable sources, that you have a wonderful set of mechanics and a great shop to work in over there. Is that right?
We do, and I just got a new guy on about a month or 2 ago. This guy's name, actually, a lot of you folks probably know him. His name is Tony Heiner. Worked at Les Schwab for, I think, about 30 years. That guy knows what he's doing. He's really improved our shop times, our uptime. We're actually running out of things for him to do. It's awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nick, you've done a great job. Now, here's what I want you to do. We always tell about the 3 locations, and use yourself last and really brag about yourself. Tell us the locations of Berry Equipment and Rental.
All right. We have stores in Twin Falls, Jerome, and Burley. Twin Falls, we're by the old hospital. They're on Addison Avenue. If you're in Jerome, we're right behind the auction house. They're on South Lincoln. And in Burley, we're about a mile east of McCain Foods, 159 West, Highway 30.
All right. Nick, you do a doggone good job. You got to promise to come back with us. Berry Equipment and Rental, thank you so much for being on the air this morning.
Thank you, Zeb.
You bet. Have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you. Nice people at Berry Equipment and Rental. They've got what you need to get the job done. Okay. Let's see. Tomorrow. No. Today's Thursday. Saturday. I almost gave it the wrong day. 7th Annual POW MIA Recognition Day Ceremony. Saturday over at the Rupert Square. I want to reiterate, it's going to start in the morning with live music. Gina's going to be broadcasting over there on K-Bar live from 9 to noon. I'll be there at 2 o'clock for the ceremony. Everybody, please try to attend. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a little bit. But right now, we're going to send it back over to our main studios. I'll be back in 3.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Wait a minute, I thought I just left.
You just left and you are now back on the air.
Wait a minute, I feel like this guy that got caught in a revolving door going into a hotel. Let me out of here.
Well, technical issues, so welcome back, sir, and hopefully you had a wonderful 3-second break.
I did. I just started to get up out of the chair and I thought, this isn't right.
If you want to do a couple live reads, I will get Mary on the air.
So in other words, we don't have the announcements, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So the revolving door has got me trapped. I can't find my way out, so I will concentrate on a commercial, if I can find one. Let's not forget. Now, we just mentioned to you about this is called ad-libbing at its best. We just mentioned to you about the 7th annual POW-MIA Recognition Day ceremony. That's going to be at the Rupert Square this Saturday. There's going to have food, they're going to have vendors, and please remember, we're going to pay tribute to the POW-MIAs. Let's not let them be forgotten. Okay, remember that. Saturday, we'll be there, and the ceremony starts at 2 p.m. Everybody, please come out and support that. We had a note handed to us yesterday from Kelton Hatch with the Idaho Fishing Game, and the 6th annual Magic Valley Sportsman's Breakfast is going to be Friday, October 3rd at 6:30 in the morning at the Jerome Regional Office for the Idaho Fishing Game. That's at 324 South, 417 East, Highway 93. Pancakes and eggs and a great discussion about the upcoming hunting seasons. Everybody should be there to that breakfast. I have run out of things at the spur of the moment to talk about.
I got her.
Oh, that's coming in very quickly, and when I needed you, thank you very much. We have the lovely Mary Scott on the phone with us right now. Mary, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, Zeb, and thank you for asking. How are you doing?
Well, if I was any better, I couldn't stand it. The wrong fat man would be wearing my clothes. Everything is going rosy, I should say. And by the way, the reason I wanted to get you on the air is because you're the publicity director for the Golden Heritage Senior Center, and we had an opportunity the other day to go to one of your board meetings, and we've got some things planned for fundraisers in the future, especially a special event that's coming up around November, Thanksgiving time. We won't give the public a whole lot of particulars right now, but we're going to be having fundraisers over there that are going to help everybody, right?
That's absolutely correct, and we just want everybody to come to this fundraiser that we're going to be having in November. It's going to be an awesome event, of course, with you there, and it should be lots of fun, and lots of good food is going to be there.
Absolutely. Mary, how is the Golden Heritage Senior Center doing? I mean, I know that a lot of people are getting older. Are they aware of all the things they can do over there?
You know, I think that with us getting older, that we now have what they call a yoga class there for us. They have some wood cutting there. They have pinnacle, you know, so that you can go over there. And I think that the people, even though they're getting older, have got a lot more services than what we used to have.
So, you know, it's not a point of getting older. It's a point of keeping busy, being active, and having a full life. I don't know why in the world a lot of people think that when they reach a certain age, they should just sit in a geezer chair and let the world go by.
Well, I hope I don't sit in a geezer chair for let the world go by. And the ladies and the gentlemen that we have there at the center, they seem to enjoy coming over and just visiting with each other and getting to talk to each other and see how each other is doing. And it's just lots of fun to meet them every day or every other day or whenever they come around.
How's the food over there? I understand that you've got meals. If people want to stop in and have lunch, they're available for a very low price.
Well, today they're $4.50 if you're 60 and older, and I believe $6 if you're under 60. And then I think there's a child's price, and I'm kind of forgotten what that one is.
Okay.
Today is a smorgasbord, and I know we're competing.
Uh-oh. Not a good sign.
Did we lose her?
Mary has gone out into the atmosphere. She's somewhere out there with Captain Kirk. My goodness, let's beam her up to the Enterprise. And there's that dial tone. We got to call her back. And now there's the ring. Hopefully her sweet voice will come back on the phone. This is live radio. I love this.
At its finest.
Oh, Mary!
Hello.
Hello, Mary. You went into the outer depths of the atmosphere.
Yes, I did. What happened?
I don't know, but all of a sudden you faded out on us and you were gone. I think, honestly, if you want to know the truth, I think Joe reached over and pulled the plug.
Joe, did you pull the plug?
I opened my phone so they couldn't hear it ring.
He opened his phone so it wouldn't ring. It might have cut mine off. Anyhow, we do have lots of things going on Saturdays. This Saturday, Zeb, we have a breakfast for $5, and it is sausage and biscuits, gravy, and hash browns, and let's see what else, coffee and juice, and bacon, and scrambled eggs, and our famous $1 cinnamon roll.
Okay, now tell me, Mary, what time does it start at the Golden Heritage this Saturday morning?
It starts at 8 o'clock and it runs until 10 o'clock.
8 till 10. Now, when you tell people where you're located, what's the easiest landmark in case they're not familiar with Overland and been around Burley that much? What do you tell them?
Well, I'm going to tell you what Joe tells me all the time. It's right close to the Last Supper, which is the cemetery.
Okay. Right there on Overland.
So we're right beside the cemetery, and it's real easy to find right there on Overland.
Okay. And it's the Golden Heritage Senior Center, and you're going to have a big breakfast on Saturday starting at 8 o'clock, and it should be delicious, right?
Oh, the board does a lot of the cooking, and I'll tell you, we have some fantastic ladies and gentlemen that are cooks. They can whip up just about anything and make it good, taste good.
All right. Mary, thank you so much for being on our program. I know you got a whole bunch of things to do, but we just wanted to highlight the fact that we're going to have some upcoming events at the Golden Heritage Senior Center to help our seniors and to help the community. Thank you for taking the time this morning.
Yeah, I just want them to know that we might have some, at our special event that's coming up in November, we're hoping to have some young singers there or some young people there that can give us some wonderful music.
By the way, I'm really concerned all of a sudden. While you're doing all this talking on the phone, please tell me that Joe is not driving.
Joe is sitting beside me, being very patient with me.
Okay. Joe and patience, they do not go together. Have a good day. God bless you.
Well, Zeb, I really want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about the Senior Center, and we look forward to having all the people come out and visit with us.
All right. God bless you both. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Zeb.
All right.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, my goodness. That got me worried all of a sudden. I thought, now, if Mary is taking care of the phone call and handling some of the papers, I would certainly hope Joe Taylor was not driving. Joe, lead on. Thank you very much. Oh, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle on the landline, and we'll talk about anything you want for the next couple of minutes before I have to say goodbye for today and turn it back over to Gina. Oh, Gina, have you got things planned for when's Kennedy's football game? Is it Saturday?
He has football practice today, and then his game is going to be on Monday. However, the poor little guy's been sick for the past couple of days, so he gets to go to a doctor's appointment as soon as I'm done here.
Oh, has he got that crud that's going around?
I don't know. He has just the night before last, he woke up in the middle of the night and got sick all over my bed.
Oh.
And it happens. And then first thing this morning, he got up and he got sick again. And so I'm like, okay, we're taking you to the doctor. bud. But flag football, yes. And so if he's well enough to do his practice tonight, he's going to do his practice tonight, and then game on Monday.
What is going on? I understand there's that, it's bothering mostly the elementary school kids, kind of a virus, etc. Is it developing into also flu symptoms?
I don't know. I do know that the school, St. Nicholas, had one of the nurses come over from the Minidoka County Hospital and give the kids what they call a flu mist, which is, to help prevent them from getting flu throughout the year. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not.
Well, I hope and pray that he is going to be A-OK. And I know that you're a very devoted mom, and you're really enjoying this mom stuff with all the extracurricular activities, aren't you?
I love it. It makes my day just to go out there and be active, with my son, and to watch him grow and participate and be his biggest cheerleader, because, that's kind of my duty.
You know what? I got to tell you this, and I hear the phone ringing, but you have to answer that real quick?
Nope, they're already on the line waiting.
They're on the line, but I got to say this, that when Toby and Jake left the nest and then went to college and then developed their own families and everything, when you're sitting there sometimes on the back porch in my geezer chair, boy, it brings a tear to my eye. I would love to go back and do the high school and the sports thing all over again.
It brightens my day, and it just, it's so precious when you get to go and you get to participate and watch your kids do things. And so, you know me, I'm a proud mama.
Absolutely. You should be. Caller, we'll just take this call real quick. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, you know how Mr. Obama gave his speech last week, and he was defining his intentions, and now because he's absolutely getting the heat from everywhere, including, it seems like, his general, saying this isn't going to work, and how they're slowly spoon-feeding us their intent that there would be no actual action for the soldiers. They would just be there to assist. But they are going to be there while the other Iranian soldiers, or whatever, the other soldiers, against ISIS, would be actually in combat. So if we're with them while they're in combat, how is it that we're not going to be involved in the combat? It's such doublespeak, it's just beyond me.
Randy, what you're saying is absolutely a question I had early this morning. I thought about this because Obama said that fighting ISIS is not going to be a combat mission. Those are the words that he used. How could you fight? Listen, how can you fight anybody, and not consider it in any way, shape, or form not a combat mission? You're not going to think about putting soldiers on the ground with any force that doesn't have a weapon or ammunition or anything. Good heavens, they'd be sitting ducks. How can it not be a combat mission?
Well, it can't. It's just such, again, this president, for whatever the reason, his intent is never clear, because he's so sympathetic to the Muslim movement, and he has to go against the actual ISIS terrorism. But he acts like he's reluctant to even do that. And you say, I don't know, you just want this guy to get his comeuppance,
Well, let me ask you another question here real quick, Randy, before I do a weather forecast. And some people say I'm nitpicking, but I'm stating it the way I heard it. Yesterday, when I was listening to John Kerry, Secretary of State, go and talk about ISIS, talk about their religious beliefs, etc., he kept referring to God. And I was highly offended by that, because my God is not a killing God. My God does not support the bombing and the maiming of children and the cutting off of people's heads. And why don't they call it like it is with Islam and the Muslims as Allah? I do not like the word God defamed like John Kerry did yesterday.
Well, it's wrong, blasphemous almost, really. And so, I tell you what, Zeb, this kind of thing, and then yesterday, and I know one more thing and I'll hang up, Chaffetz was talking to the new Secretary of Homeland Security and asked him, Did you know that there were 4 Middle Eastern men crossing the border that we caught? Were you aware of that, sir? And I didn't know. He was unaware of the fact that, I mean, you'd think to yourself, how in the hell can this administration, either they're just complicit or they're just so, uninvolved that it's criminal.
Well, go one step further on that, Randy, and carry it right over to the Benghazi hearings. How could the people in charge, the people that are in the chain of command, keep answering questions like, Senator, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. That information was not provided to me. It's the same thing. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, supposedly.
I mean, if you and I if we were to talk to the IRS and say, these kinds of gutless excuses, they would laugh in our faces.
Absolutely.
Say, well, that's no excuse.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Randy, God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
You bet, sir.
Thank you. We are going to have a weather forecast real quick, brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Locally owned custom meat processor for over 20 years, and they do sell taste one bite at a time. It is good. Here is our weather forecast.
Partly to mostly sunny skies now. Still a slight chance of rain showers, about a 30% chance. High of 77 for today. Winds at about 8 miles an hour, and still looking at a high of 82. Tonight's low near 55. Tomorrow, sunny and 80, and by Saturday for the Rupert POW MIA Recognition Day ceremony, it's going to be sunny and 82.
Thank you, Gina. And again, brought to you by some folks. Oh, you got to try and just order a marinated tri-tip for any occasion. Oh, that's like eating candy. It's so good. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. As I said, they are selling taste one bite at a time. Call them at 324-7657. Scarrows Meats, absolutely delicious. Also, want to take the time right now to say thank you, as always, to our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Man, I tell you, they are always serving you. Working hard. They wear the white shirts and the blue trousers, and I'll tell you what, they zip. They're going all over the place as fast as they can to help you. They've got a great big tire sale going on right now, like the Eclipse tire, all-season traction, 70,000-mile warranty, the Wildcat AT2, the Open Country AT2, all of their tires on sale right now. Stop in and check it out for safe fall and winter driving. And then don't forget, too, they've got the best brake value promise in the industry, the best of front-end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries. Weather's going to get colder. Make sure your battery's going to turn over and get that four-wheel wonder started. You stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I am absolutely looking forward to Saturday, and I want to just really invite each and every one of you to take a little time out of your day on Saturday and come over to the Rupert Square and partake of the 7th annual POW MIA Recognition Day ceremony. Now, as I stated earlier, the live music is going to be from 10 till 1:30. Gina's going to be over there broadcasting on K-Bar Radio from 9 to noon. They're going to have vendors, they're going to have food booths, and then at 2 o'clock, we're going to start with our Recognition Day ceremony. It's not going to last long, probably maybe an hour, and we're going to have Lieutenant Governor Brad Little and many others there. Please be there. To the POWs and MIAs, you are not forgotten. And that's why it's very important that we all try to be there at the Rupert Square this Saturday for the POW MIA Recognition Day ceremony. Gina, I want to tell you how much I appreciate all your effort over there. I know you're trying to carry 2 buckets of water, one filled with K-Bar and all the computers, and the other filled with me.
Yeah.
And you did a great job, as always, and thank you for everything this week. And I will see you, if not at lunch bunch, I will see you Saturday.
Yes, you will see me Saturday. Unfortunately, not going to be able to go to Lunch Bunch because I've got to take one little guy to the doctor.
Well, I understand, and our best to Kennedy. But we also will be over there. Are you going to be set up in the gazebo on the city square on Saturday morning?
I think so, but wherever George wants me to set up is where I'm going to be.
All right, well, we'll look for you when we get there, and God's blessings to you and everybody else. I'm going to leave a little bit early right now, as a matter of fact, so I can get to Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant in Burley. We hope to see you there. Gina, God bless everybody. The way things were, the way things ought to be. Zeb at the Ranch, we'll see you Monday at 8:06.